Hey everybody, so today we're talking about support. So people say there's a Pojo technique, Estelle Singing says there's anchoring, CVT says there's only 3 parts to it, that actually science recently has proven is actually the only thing that helps to support the sound. And what is support? So support is making sure that the diaphragm doesn't just shoot up and push out all the air out, so then you can no longer sing. You don't have air in your lungs, you can't sing, right? So we're doing our best to keep the diaphragm down. By the way, the diaphragm is bad at your nipples and only goes down to your lowest rib, which is about here. And so the goal is to just keep the ribs out and to keep the diaphragm taut and stretched without relaxing upward so that the air doesn't go out. So it doesn't really matter what you use as long as it works, right? Some people don't feel support, some people really feel support. I only feel support towards the end of the phrases, and so I like CVT's way of doing it. So far as I know, they're the newest science. So they said, one of the first parts is if you put your thumb on your belly button, then reach down and then suck that in. That's the first part to your support, right? And like I said, like at the bottom rib, so if you breathe in and hold your diaphragm out, well, just breathe in, I guess, and just put this, and then if you suck in, what do you feel your ribs doing? Your bottom rib should pull out, so to speak, So when it goes outward, that counteracts like the going in when you're singing, so that when the diaphragm wants to go up, you just start with that piece of support, and then it'll start pulling the ribs out and pulling on the diaphragm. And so that's like one of the 3 parts of the support. And then the other one is your lower back, right here or so. And I haven't found a way to like really feel it. The only way I can kind of have you feel it is like with that, in conjunction with the first part that I showed you. So if you suck in your stomach all the way, that little part of your stomach, until you can't suck it anymore, it's like there's a wall right there. And then if you bend over, do you feel that it kind of like breaks whatever that wall is, or however you perceive it? So do that, and then that's the second part, right? And then the third part is your lats, about right here. When I took the 1-day course, Julie told us, like, kind of squeeze, like you're squeezing 2 oranges in your armpits, trying to make orange juice. One thing that I found that was a little bit better, because the student was singing wrong, so to speak, and so she kept moving her shoulders up. People say, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. More than anything, I think that just doesn't look so elegant. So what I taught her is to do this, so that whenever she felt it, she could feel it in her hands, so that's not just her shoulders working, but which was actually really good, because pushing on this, and then when she like put her hands together, and then her shoulders went up, it really activated her lats. So you can kind of try to press on that, so squeeze basically, or maybe if you hug really, anything to get that going. How does this work? So you have to put it all together. They taught me 1, and then 2, and then the squeeze is number 3. And for my personal singing, it's actually like the lats, and then like the lower back I engage first, and then my last one I use is actually my stomach, right? So who bends over to sing? You don't bend over, right? But if you kind of have a dramatic note, and then like you put your foot on a speaker or something, you broke that like wall, so to speak. You engage your lower back, or when people say or however, like, oh no, oh, they're engaging their lats, and usually the stomach, that's usually the easiest one, and most people use that a little bit more naturally than other people. So the Apojo and like Estelle, I guess, they still work, I figure, because your body is like a web. You touch one part of the web, the rest of it will move, You can isolate like a part of the web, and so only some of it's moving. But essentially, if you let it all freely go, it'll move on its own, like everything. So one great way to do this without having to sing is to just hiss on it, etc., 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 and then slowly, like if you feel your ribs go in, start using support, start sucking in, bending over, and then engaging your lats. Yeah, so that's basically it. I'm not going to demonstrate the S, but just it's too aggressive, just nice, light, and soft, etc. And then, like, when you need to bend over, and then squeeze with your lats when you're ready. That's basically it for support. Yeah. And